All Progressives Congress APC is asking all aggrieved members from the weekend's local government congress to approach the appeals committee with their petitions. The secretary of the party's caretaker committee, Senator John Akpan Uduade, explains that the party has a well-established channel of communication that is open to all genuine members of the party. He said that at the press conference today in Abuja. But look, there seems to be trouble brewing. Well, trouble is on a large-scale escalation in OSUN State. There are some sections of the party, especially in OSUN State, who are not happy with the conduct of the exercise in some states, such as OSUN, Ogun, Delta states, where there are now factions. There is a faction loyal to the former governor and minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, in OSUN State, and they are aggrieved and with complaints of being left out, while the faction loyal to the governor believes the right thing is being done. Tonight, I'm being joined by the Chief Press Secretary to the OSUN State Governor, Mr. Ismail Omikpidon. He joins us here in the Lagos studio. And with him there, Mr. Omikpidon is the one in suit and tie. And with him is Mr. Kolakbo Alimi, one of the leaders of the OSUN Progressives group, a faction of the APC in OSUN State, loyal to the minister and former governor, Mr. Alimi and Mr. Omikpidon. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming.
The pleasure is mine.
Let's begin by asking you, Mr. Alimi. Yeah. Was there a Congress in OSUN State? Because I understand that there was a parallel Congress. Your group also conducted a Congress, LG Congress. Is that true?
Well, good evening, our viewers at home. I'm only aware of congresses that we conducted. I'm saying that one because, the last Saturday Congress ordinarily supposed to be delegate Congress, in terms of the fact that those people that has been elected during the World Congresses, the World Executives, and the local government delegates, they are the one that was supposed to vote during the last Congress. And so, since the only World Executive that I know that has been properly elected are the one that I took part in, and I was in my ward on the day of that election, and during this one I was in my local government. We conducted the Congress in 27 local government and 1 area office, and we have our results, which we are sending to the National Secretariat of our party. That is the only one that I know, though I read in the news that the group loyal to the governor, to the Lirolua group, also conducted their own. Maybe that's the reason people are talking about a parallel Congress. But as far as we are concerned, the only Congress that we know that took place in OSUN happened to be our own Congress, which is legal.
So you say it's legal. So let me ask Mr. Omikpidon. He said he is the Congress that was conducted on their own side, that is the legal one. So which one was conducted from your own side? Is it a legal one?
Well, let me start this way. First, it is unfortunate that we have to be discussing this publicly, because ordinarily we are members of the same family, and I believe that as family members, even if there are to be disagreements, we should have better means of addressing them. But having said that, let me place on record that as I speak today, there is no faction in APC in OSUN. To the best of my knowledge, the constitution of the party is very, very clear as to who the leader of the party is in any state where there is a sitting governor. And so to that extent, I believe very strongly that there are no factions in OSUN APC. And let me also correct my elder brother that there is no group like Governor's Group or Ilewe Group. Ilewe was just a platform upon which the governor rose to power when he was running for the governorship in 2018. And since he became governor, there was nothing like that.
Was it dissolved?
Of course, it's been dissolved. As far as we are concerned, what we have today is APC being led by the governor. Now, there are guidelines for conducting congresses. And to the best of my knowledge, the team that came from Abuja conducted Congress for APC, not for any group whatsoever. And good enough, by this afternoon, the team led by Honorable Gbenga Elegbeleye addressed a press at the party secretariat to announce the result of the Congress that were held on Saturday. Now, if my brother is saying that they had the Congress, which is legal, I mean, was there INEC official at the venue where the Congress were purportedly held? Were there security operatives? In any case, before the conduct of any Congress, the venue of such Congress, it's been announced publicly. It's known. And part of the guideline of the party is that you don't use a private or residential area. And most of the videos being bandied around by some of our brothers were videos taken at some residential area or private homes where they claim they had
So,
Congress.
Mr. Mdikwe, when I heard their own side, the same way I heard in Ogun State, the same way I heard in Delta, in Kano, where people agreed and said they were not carried along. And I'm going to come back to that in a short while, but I want to link, and I wanted to confirm what he said with him. The Honorable Gbenga Elegbeleye led committee. Was he part of the exercise? Did he spearhead the exercise from your own side?
Let me therefore respond a little bit to my brother here, that's a friend and brother.
No, okay, so because I wanted to clear it,
yes,
before I'll give you, sorry, because there is a place I'm getting to.
Okay.
Was Gbenga Elegbeleye the one who led the conduct from your own side of the divide?
Now, what I want to tell you that first and foremost, Mr. Ismail Omikwida is the chief press secretary to the governor. He's not a spokesperson to our party. And so if we are talking about party politics, and he's the one talking now, you know the kind of leadership we have. Now coming back to your question.
But you cannot separate the government from the party, especially based on the constitution of the APC. The governor is the leader of the party.
Just a moment, Mr. Miko.
And I speak for the governor.
Now to your question. If you could recollect, Honorable Gbenga Elegbeleye was the one who came to conduct the local government, the World Congress. And during that period when he came, we contacted him. We thought it would be an arbiter to let him know that we have obtained forms. And during that period, what the governor did was that the governor actually paid a lump sum of 26.8 million naira with a single teller, UBA teller, to purchase all the forms brought from Abuja. So when we made frantic effort, he said the governor wanted... You
saw the teller?
Yes.
You can confirm the teller?
I can.
Because I'd like us to make claims that we can...
My phone is outside. I can send the teller to your WhatsApp.
Well, so, I saw it online.
Yes.
But is that true? Was that...
that is the position.
But you see, the thing is...
It has never been done. Let me
party can obtain form on behalf of the candidates that are running.
Let me anchor my thought. The people who brought the forms, you were in contact with them until when it got to that, they said the governor actually wanted to buy all the forms and that he would be the one to give the forms to whoever he likes. That should not be the case. The governor actually wanted consensus. He said we are not against consensus, but everybody must be brought along. When we discovered that the governor actually had bought the forms with a single teller, we now approached Abuja and they told us that the purpose of sending people to sell form in the state is just for convenience. That if truly we mean business to buy form, we should go and pay, submit our teller, and we'll be given form. And we did that one. We paid, our people contributed money, we paid our money individually, and we bought form. So when Honorable Elegbeleye came, he came on the eve of that Congress in the evening, around 6. And so straight away went to the governor's lodge, and there and then they organized what they call stakeholders meetings, and they agree on consensus. And so we contacted that a situation whereby 2 or more persons obtain form, you cannot say you are doing consensus. By virtue of Article 20 of our Constitution, you can check it. If you permit me, I can read.
Okay. He has one.
I have one here.
Now, he said, but
consensus is part of your
That's
laws.
what I want to read. Consensus is just an exception. under election and appointment, Article 20, it says, unless otherwise provided for, what? A, all party posts prescribed or implied by this constitution shall be filled by democratically conducted elections at the respective National Convention or Congress, subject, now listening, where possible to consensus, provided that where a candidate has emerged by consensus for an elective position, a vote of yes or no by ballot or voice shall be called to ensure that it was not an imposition which could breed discontent and crisis.
Maybe you were not there when they decided on the consensus.
No, the point I want to make is...
Were you there at the stakeholders meeting?
God bless you.
The stakeholders meeting actually took place at the government house. And the
were you invited?
We were not invited.
Because I understand also that you were being suspended from the party.
No, they have actually cancelled the suspension because...
Is it true that they cancelled it?
Well, there was a suspension, and when the party leaders looked at it and felt strongly that it didn't go through the normal process, the party used the instrument.
So, because, just a moment, where I'm driving at, and where I asked you that question, so because the grievance from your side that I heard, that prompted me to invite him and invite you, is that you have been left out.
Yes.
And that's the allegation against the governor's side, that they have been left out.
That is not true.
For example, the stakeholders meeting, was it held at the government house?
Let me come to that.
It was
during the World, excuse me, during the World Congress, the stakeholders meeting was held at the government house. And what was the reason? You know Oshogbo very well. We are working on the Olaya flyover. And we felt that if the governor were to attend the stakeholders meeting at the party secretariat, we will inconvenience the members of the public. We tried to avoid that. And when we did that then, they were shouting that they were left out, they were shut out. The local government congress, the stakeholders meeting was held at the party secretariat. And if you check through the Facebook, even this evening before I came into the studio, I saw a post where a resident was saying, why should the APC barricade the road simply because, you know, so it was what we were running for the first time. But this time around, the stakeholders meeting was held at the party secretariat. Nobody was left out. They only chose not to attend. That's the fact. And if they had attended, because usually what happens is, if you are at the stakeholders meeting, once they propose consensus, if you have a dissenting voice, you make it known.
But your party,
as a matter of fact, the chairman of the...
Mr. Mikwedo, your party, I've read this constitution very well.
Yes.
Your party envisaged blocks, which some other people might call faction. Blocks in the different political party, because there will be former governors, former ministers.
Not necessarily blocks. If you say caucus.
Caucus. But blocks in English language is a matter of semantics. But in the real sense of it, so did you recognize, did you invite them officially to this meeting? Because they are saying that you've never carried them along.
As a matter of fact, one of the leaders of the, I don't want to refer to them as a group, because as far as we are concerned,
they could be referred to as a group.
Well, we have members of one family.
Yeah.
Now, one of the leaders of their team is the secretary of the party as we speak. As a matter of fact, before the World Congress, I saw him at the party secretariat, where he came to confer with the party chairman.
So I
am not aware of what they discussed. So it is not possible for them to have been shot at. They probably shot themselves out. That's the truth. It's a different thing. It's a different thing if they wanted to access the party secretariat and somebody stopped them from accessing the party secretariat. That would have been a different ballgame.
To be the secretary of APC in Osun State today. He has been left out of all the activities of the party. Now, the genesis of the problem is what you have to look at, so that we will not be giving our people at home. We will not be telling lies. Our governor, Alhaji Saka Adeboye Goyitola, immediately after July 5 Supreme Court judgment, started his politics of segregation.
How?
And so, the moment you have a connection directly or indirectly with the former governor, you are bound to be segregated from the party.
And so,
based on that one, he knows who and who to be invited. I, as a person, I've never invited for anything. Honorable Razak Saliza is talking about the secretary of the party in the state. is being left out of all the activities of the state. But the real issue now is this. Let us now assume, let us agree that even all of us, the so-called stakeholders, we were present at the government house. But somebody, a party member somewhere in a particular ward, had gone to obtain form, paid teller, pay money to the bank, presented the teller to our national secretariat, and the national secretariat has issued form to such a person. For that position alone, we cannot say we want to impose consensus. For that position alone, if it is just only one position, sir, what we are going to do is the real election. That is what our constitution says. Consensus is when you all agree. A situation whereby thousands of people have obtained form. And Honorable Elegbele now came, they now say yes, they have agreed on consensus. And so he went ahead to about 3 local governments. And the governors group, by that, the meaning of consensus on their own consensus is that they are trying to impose some candidates. They are surrogates, and they call them consensus. So when they go to the venue of the congresses, they said, these are the lists. People rejected it, and then we had proper congress. And then we now sent the information to Abuja. Okay. So the Abuja now said that there will be an appeal committee. First and foremost, let me point this one out, that we had written petition against Honorable Elegbele that if you had come for this kind of assignment, the first point of call was for you to address the press, to announce to the whole world that you have arrived. Honorable Elegbele did not do that one.
That was what he did last Friday.
No, that's not the local government. No, let me come back to it.
Why did he do it?
At the party secretariat.
Are you aware?
I'm talking first and foremost for the world, because one thing has to lead to another. If the World Congress had crumbled, I'm a lawyer, I'm not speaking legally. You cannot talking about the local government.
You can be a lawyer, but you are not a court.
But were you aware that? Just a moment. Are you aware that there was an appeal process?
That's what I'm saying.
Were you part of that appeal process?
Yes, we went for the appeal. That we know if
were you at the premises? Were you one of those that were arrested?
No, I was not. About 7 of our people, of our leaders, were arrested. I was not among those people that were taken to court. The governor are taking all the leaders of top perceived enemy. I have taken them to court.
That's not correct.
But the real issue is that as of today,
be sincere and have the fear of
the
God
only properly conducted World Congresses and local government is the one we conduct.
All right, let me allow Mr. Omikredon to react.
First, let me put it to my elder brother. That has been economical with the truth. He did say that the governor started alienating some persons in quote that are closer to the former governor immediately after the Supreme Court judgment, July 5th. Now, I came into the state. I was appointed the chief press secretary to Mr. Governor in August 5th, 2019. And as at the time I came in, we worked very well with my elder brother here seated. And so, if it's claimed that governors started alienating persons who are close to the former governor from July 5th after the Supreme Court judgment, how come we're still working together? As at August 2019, up till November, it was when the new cabinet was announced in November 2019. That was when my elder brother suddenly disappeared. Excuse me.
The problem was because of the cabinet composition.
Well, I haven't said so.
No, because
I'm just trying to lay foundation.
I like you to also.
I'm just trying to lay foundation.
Say whether or not it's true.
I'm just trying to lay foundation.
The difference between, just a moment, Mr. Omikredon, the difference between the governor and the former governor is because of the composition of the cabinet and people were left out. Is that true?
That is not true. So. Now let me tell you one thing. When he came in, thank God he said you were working together. I haven't landed. Now, you know, something will fall for when you saw a certain like yellow card, green light coming up about one thing. You thought it was just a teaching problem. In any political setting, when somebody has just got into a seat like that, they are bound to be some hype. You know that we were thinking that with time, it would just fizzle out. That it was the horror of that office that was actually making the governor to be agitated. So we were making every effort to manage the situation. Now, when he was talking about the cabinet, Aregbesola today is a minister. Will Aregbesola be fighting or Oyetola be fighting?
No, it's not about cabinet.
It's not about cabinet. It's about, and let me tell you, for him to know,
you have not contradicted.
So let me, because I gave you time, I just wanted to hear what you give us about it. So let me allow him.
From his explanation now, it means he has contradicted himself, because he said my principal started alienating persons.
I said he started. He's showing the sign. That's
July
it now.
5th. And I have told you that even after that period he is claiming, we were still working together.
Maybe you don't understand.
Now, even well, I'm sure those who are listening to us can grab what we are talking about. Now, again, sir, I put it to you that even after 2019, up to 2020, you were still visiting my principal. So, at what point did he start alienating you? You only chose to stay away. That's the simple truth. You only chose to stay away.
Brother,
you only chose to stay away. Now, having said that, my principal just said recently, as far as he is concerned, and I can also testify to that, there's no crisis between him and his predecessor. What we are seeing has just been unnecessarily exaggerated by persons who are claiming to be doing his biddings. And like my principal said, we are not sure they are even speaking his mind. We are not sure if they have his mandate to do what they are doing. Because to the best of my knowledge, there was no time our former governor has come out to endorse what they are doing.
Okay, so let me allow you to.
Thank you very much. I just want to anchor myself. Don't let us derail about this topic.
And I want to, because we have just 1 minute left.
Thank
and
you.
one
Thank
minute
you.
Left.
The real
just
issue, the real issue now is we are talking about the Congress. If truly our governor is not afraid of election, in that kind of situation, what the governor ought to do, knowing fully that let us have election. A governor that is afraid of having election internally within the party, you could know what is happening. The party members are today in OSUN, they are aggrieved. So that we want our party back. People actually want to choose their leaders. The governor wants to have imposition. The governor is using his vantage position as a member of a caretaker management committee to shop for people who could do his bidding. And that's exactly what is going on. And let the whole world know that this impunity will not stand.
All right. You're fine. You give us a fan.
Well, to Nigerians who have been following events in OSUN, I believe very strongly that they will agree with me that in terms of management of party affairs, the way my principal is managing the governance and the party politics today is an improvement of what we had in the past. And I want to believe that is how it should be. There is no impunity anywhere. My principal is not afraid of any election. As a matter of fact, during the last stakeholders meeting, before the World Congress, the Senate spokesperson who attended that stakeholders meeting did say that, look, they are not afraid of any election. But because the party has advised that we should at least go for consensus to avoid any rancorous situation, that is why we are going for consensus. Nobody is afraid of any election. And anytime, any day, we are good to go.
Mr. Ismail Omepidom, the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of OSUN State, Mr. Oyetola, and Mr. Kolakpo Alimi, the leader of the OSUN Progressive Top, a group loyal to the Minister of Interior and the former Governor of OSUN State, Rauf Aregbesola. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming here tonight. But that's how we anchor tonight on the program. Many thanks, everyone, for watching. I'm Sean Wakimale. Bye for now.